So you just landed in Bangkok and you're trying to figure out what you're supposed to do next. Well, hopefully, as you're landing or prior to landing, you filled out your basically arrival card, which is the immigration card. And they'll pass those out inside the cabin, about 30 minutes to 45 minutes before you land, anyways. And hopefully, you have a pen with you so you can go ahead and fill that out. They'll have some basic questions: your name, where you're headed, the name of your hotel or your Airbnb, any contact information, and then they ask some general tourism type questions. So hopefully you have a pen on you and you're able to fill that out. So that's the first thing I do. I just hurry up and fill that out, both the front and the back. Make sure that's already taken care of. And then I usually have a paper clip on me, and I use that to take my SIM card out, and I tape it on the inside of my phone cover, and that way I have it out of the way. I don't like to have roaming charges, so I'm going to get a SIM card at the airport, and I just make sure to take care of it, and I already have it out of the phone so it doesn't get mixed up or lost while I'm getting the new SIM card at the kiosk at the help desk when I'm at the airport. So the plane has landed, you filled out your arrival card. You've kind of looked and made sure you have all your belongings after a long flight, like the typical flight that I take coming into Bangkok. I have stuff all over the place, and I want to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, because I kind of tend to do that when I'm half out of it sometimes or jet lagged. And so the arrival card's filled out. You've taken care of your SIM card if you want to do that. You have all your belongings set aside, and as you're exiting the terminal area, the gate, you'll make your way toward the immigration, and there's a lot of signs at the Sunaboom airport, the Bangkok airport. And for most of us, we'll be flying into the main international Bangkok airport, which is called Sunaboom Airport. The old original airport, which is the Dam Wang, is a little bit north of the north part of Bangkok, and that isn't used too much for the international flights. They usually use that for within Thailand type flights, but there are a number of international flights that do come into the Dam Wang Old International Airport. The majority of us will be coming into the Sunaboom International Airport in Bangkok. Now, once you make your way to immigration, they have a bunch of queues and a bunch of lines that you'll snake through. Get in that right away. There's been times where I've been in and out of there in under 20 minutes, and I'm waiting around for my luggage to arrive. And there's been times where I've had as much as 2.5 hour wait as I snake through that line back and forth until I finally can get up to immigration. Once you get up to the immigration and somebody's ready to help you, of course, make sure you don't have your sunglasses on, you don't have any recording devices, be polite, take off your hat, and you're ready to go. Now, once you get out of there, directly right in front of you is all the baggage terminals. And take a look at the TV monitor, find out exactly which terminal, which baggage claim area your bags are coming out of. And I usually grab a cart because I have anywhere from 2 to 5 pieces of big luggage when I do come back into Thailand. And so grab yourself a free cart. One thing nice about Thailand is the carts are free, you don't have to pay for them. And so I grab a cart and wait for my baggage to come. Always be careful to make sure you grab your bag. There's so many bags that look similar. And for myself, I usually have a red or yellow tag or tape that's on the side that I can easily distinguish which is my bag. Now, once you grab your bags, you're going to go out the exit doors, and there's 2 main exit doors. You can use either one, whichever is the best for you. Now, they do have some baggage scanning areas there and people kind of checking, but this is a random check. So when they check for duty free, when they're checking for drugs and other things, they'll just randomly pick somebody out who's coming through that gateway, and they'll ask you to place your baggage on the scanner. I would say I've only been asked to scan my bags less than 10% of the time. So, once you're done with that, you'll get out to the main floor. Once you get out there, there are a ton of people waiting for their friends, family, arrivals, taxi cab people. waiting out there. So it seems a little chaotic, but everything's organized. Once you get out of there, what I would recommend you do is get a SIM card if you're looking to have mobile service and Wi-Fi when you're in Thailand. Now, there's a number of different companies. I use typically the two that I use is TrueMove, and my most popular go-to one is the AIS 12 call. And they'll have a green sign and they'll have booths, and most of the cell phone places that are selling SIM cards are all to group together. And so if you want to shop around and kind of take a look at rates and those kind of things, you're welcome to do that. Typically for myself, I just go directly to the AIS. Now, they'll have a number of different plans available to you. You can either get, they have these tourist sims that are really nice that last 7 and 10 and 14 days. And so you can get one of the 7, 10, or 14-day packages. I tend to get the month-long packages because as we arrive into Thailand, most countries that are arriving, most foreigners coming into Thailand, they're allowed 30 days on arrival. Basically, as we arrive, we're allowed 30 days in the Kingdom of Thailand. Now, for myself, the first time around, I'll go ahead and stay for 30 days, but then I'll probably extend by going to immigration add additional 30 days. And then typically my trips are anywhere from 60 to 90 days or longer. And so what I'll do is I'll fly out of the country and go to the Philippines, go to Japan, go to Hong Kong, go somewhere else that I kind of planned as a side excursion. And so then for myself, I'll go ahead and come back. Now, typically with the SIM card that I get, I'll get the 30-day or longer SIM card, or I'll get a 30-day plan. And the one thing nice is, since I'm leaving the country for just a short period of time and I come back, usually I can go ahead and just reload that SIM card. Other times it may not work and I'll have to just go ahead and get a new SIM card. The mobile service plans are pretty cheap anyways, and so I don't really put too much thought into it. So that's already done. Now, for most of you who are first-time visitors or coming here infrequently, you probably don't have any Thai baht currency on you. I usually have a lot of Thai baht already on me from previous trips, and so I don't have to exchange money. But if you want to exchange money, what you'll do is you'll go downstairs, not one floor, but you'll go down 2 floors to the basement where the SkyTrain is located. Down there, there are money exchange places that give the best rate. If you try to exchange your money on that main level that you exit for people who are arriving, you tend to get a little bit worse rate. Now, the floor that's directly below the arrivals gate, where people are arriving, the floor that's below that is actually the main floor, which is where people will take buses, shuttles. They'll get tickets to get to, if they're taking the bus, they can get to Bangkok, they can get to Hua Hin, they can get to Chonburi, they can get to many places in the country by taking the bus terminal, which is on the main floor, which is 1 floor down. Now, there's also a food court there, so if you're hungry and you want cheap, good Thai food, you can go down there to that main floor, and that's the main ground level. But if you want to exchange money, you're going to go ahead and go 1 floor lower, which is the basement, and that's where the SkyTrain is. And I would recommend, if you're going directly into Bangkok and you're not taking a taxi, and you're okay with kind of pushing your baggage around, the SkyTrain is really inexpensive, and it's very quick. And it's also, a lot of times during rush hour and traffic times, it's actually a lot quicker. There's times where I've taken a taxi from Suvarnabhumi Airport, the Bangkok airport, and got in a taxi and got into downtown Bangkok, and it's taken more than an hour, sometimes close to 2 hours to get into Bangkok, just because I hit bad traffic times or there's a lot of traffic. By taking the SkyTrain, if it can get you close enough to your hotel or to where you want to be, you'll save a lot of time by taking the SkyTrain. But this is assuming you're okay with pushing your luggage around. If you have a lot of luggage and you want to just take it easy, you want to take a little nap in the cab, then that's a better route to go. There are times where I've taken a taxi because I've had a lot of luggage and I just didn't want to push it around. And then there's also been times where I've taken the SkyTrain and it's let me off really close to my hotel, or even if it's not super close, but I've hit rush hour and I know I'm going to be stuck in a hour, 2 hour taxi cab ride. I'll go ahead and take the SkyTrain as close as I can get to where I want to be, or where my hotel or timeshare is, and then I'll just flag down a taxi cab right there, because there's always a lot of cabs at these stops, right on the SkyTrain stops. There's a lot of areas where you can stop and flag down a cab, and then they can get you to the rest of your, wherever your destination is. So those are kind of the simple things that I take care of. I don't bother to get supplies or anything at the airport. The sooner I can get out of the airport area after I've taken care of SIM card, my mobile, Wi-Fi, along with mobile plan, along with getting money. Those kind of things are done pretty easily, and then I'm off and ready to go to wherever I'm going. Now, 90% of the time for myself, I'm not going into Bangkok, just because I have a condo in Chonburi, and also my employers, my former contacts, people that I'm visiting are just outside of Bangkok. Sometimes they're in Chonburi, sometimes they're in Pattaya, they're in Rayong. Sometimes I'm also going to the seaport areas where there's a number of factories and businesses that I've done work with before. And so I'm traveling to different areas. Very rarely am I taking a long trip where I have to fly or take a bus all the way down to Phuket, or I'm going to Chiang Mai or Udon Thani way up north immediately when I land. I typically like to get rid of jet lag and do other things before I get back on the road again. So typically, 90% of the time, I'm going somewhere in the surrounding area that's within an hour or 2 hours maximum of the Suvarnabhumi Bangkok airport. And then about 10% of the time, I'll hit a hotel or a timeshare or Airbnb within Bangkok. And so those are the kind of things that are pretty easy to deal with when you first get in there. And outside of those things, there's not a whole heck of a lot you need to do. You can take care of these things once you check into wherever you're staying. And most individuals, most Thais that are working at the Suvarnabhumi airport speak English, and so there's not a problem with the language barrier. You'll get by just fine. It's a very busy airport, so there's a lot of people coming and going and moving around, but I wouldn't be too concerned with it. People are friendly, people are nice. There'll be plenty of information desks if you need some help. And that's a little bit about your what you'll be doing initially when you land at Suvarnabhumi Bangkok International Airport. So hopefully that helps. If you have questions, just let me know.